You guys asked for it. Finally, it's here. I'm going to walk you through our agroforestry system. For the last couple of weeks, every time I thought about making a video, I just kept pruning and pruning and pruning. And so finally I have something to show, I guess. I mean, it's hard in the tropics because of the, the scale of things and the amount that different things grow. It's hard sometimes to show the living systems. And especially on elevation. We've been working with these contours, and you can see above the contours we've got this what we call border here, but on contour we amass the biomass. And I've got a little staghorn wood crop, and so this is second lot down. Let's see if I can I might have to clip that. So we get down here in the second lot, and we can see the lemongrass. I cleaned this all up. It's just a credible quantity. Even then I left a bush there, but you can see the rows here. The coppicing wood crop. And as it gets, there's a lot more pruning to do as you get in and down. I filled all this up. But it just starts getting jungly again, and so I got to a certain point, and but I continued down. There's some of this coffee here we've been contemplating, and the third lot, Tangara Tour, I actually, let's go take a look there. I did not clean up. This is a fruiting. Look at that. Look at them fruity flowers. Fantastic. They call this feijoa. It's in the guava family. And so mostly I did my staghorning here. I left a little bit on top there, and this mess, you see this lot, I've abandoned it. We'll see what happens in the meantime. But underneath I came down to this third contour and did open it up, and got a certain depth and came up there. But you can see, well, let's stay here on Tangara. Below this jungly mess, we have kind of cleaned out to a certain extent and started piling up the biomass. And what I'm most excited about here, and you can see also, now these nazarenos, I must have missed a row. So there's some smaller ones actually coming up here in cuttings, but these are actually native niguitos or other melliferous, other native trees that kind of are very similar to the nazareno that we are cropping or trying to crop. So this one has a lot less nazareno than others, but still we get a lot of wood cropping. I took out a lot of bushes here. This is the fourth lot, and this had some yucca. Man, we tried, but the guy that planted it, I dug it up, I looked at it, it's not, I didn't teach him how to plant it. He assured me he knew what he was doing. And there's some art to it, there's a trick to it. Luckily we grow a lot of yucca, so it's not really a big loss, but basically he made these big fluffy holes, and he pushed the stalk all the way up against the part that wasn't fluffy, right? You're supposed to plant it inside the fluffy tilled soil so it's like loose and it can develop itself. Well, he dug the huge hole, but he pushed it all the way up against where the soil was compact again, so it's kind of funny. And so they're all kind of stunted, and probably was still good chicken food. And we might leave them a little longer, but eventually we're just going to dig them up. And this widening of the contours going on here, I took down this jarumo, which is secondary. There's this big jarumo here. And you could kind of see the node, like we could plant, we've been thinking maybe we would plant 4 rows of coffee in here and have just a couple of these nodes. Lombricero tree can need to get back and prune some of his branches, but take a look at this node. Talking about nodes, this is one Jarumo. And then this, again, this, I don't know if this is Punta de Lanza. I don't know what this is, a mellifera tree though. And it's right in the crotch. And we have this other one, maybe like a guamillo, I'm not sure what this is either. But this is obviously going to be higher quality. He's following up these pioneers. This would be the you know, although this is actually pretty good firewood, these Yarumos, but this is definitely the pioneer. And this is maybe a secondary forest. And so here we have kind of starting to get into more valuable trees, and this is just naturally, this kind of node just happened here. Here's a guava. We could say that's probably a little more human induced. But this is a Tangara Cuatro, the fourth lot here. And one of the things I wanted to do, I didn't get around to, was turning the corner here into, I think this is like Gavilan or something. No, this is Cucuardilla, I think. And so, but you know, I started getting through this grass, and that's about as far as I got. So we'll come back, but you can kind of see, I think if you study it, you can see there's trees growing out of there. The grass is fighting for its survival. It may not look like it, but there is definitely an agroforestry system blooming down there. But what's cool about the method is, like, now I need to do a little bit of traveling again. I'll just kind of abandon this. So like if the people I leave behind, if they get motivated by any one of these lots being clean, they're welcome to like plant some temporary crops. Here we got this Congo. This is very excited about this guy. And he grows really well in the shade. In fact, I've been cleaning this end up, but this is kind of the yellowy end. We've got, and I don't know how well the camera will be able to show it, but the deeper you get in here, I didn't get a chance to clean up my piles of biomass, but I've been pruning. This is now one of our, let's say, successful experiments. Can you even see those leaves back there? Well, they're wider and greener, and we're below the fourth contour. But you can see these plants in kind of rows here. These leaves are used for wrapping cheeses and other tamales and stuff like that. And a plant fully developed can be harvested in every month and a half. Get a dozen or dozen and a half leaves per plant. So, you know, you can do math. Like if I had 500 of those plants, that would be commercial. And so we're going to try that out. And we're still in the multiplying phase of it. And I'll take you down. Maybe we could see it better from this end. We'll go down. Now the labyrinth here kind of gets developed over time. So, you know, I work a little bit here, and by throwing a little of this dirt on top, it's not much, you know, I'm just kind of straightening it up, the path, widening it out, you know, putting a little edge on here. But I feel like it helps trap more carbon. Like when it sits down, there's microorganisms in there. I mean, and it kind of sits on the grass and stuff and eats that carbon up. It seems like that, like it develops the contour faster. So if you come around this side, where it completely needs more pruning, it needs more pruning all the time. We've got some other things planted, but we can see that in the shade, these conga leaves are actually maybe even more well developed than the ones that look so good over there by the getting a lot more sunlight. So this is a shade crop that we're quite happy with, and we'll continue to multiply. We've been learning about it, and this is you know, again, staghorning. This is less developed Nazareno patch than the ones above, but obviously a couple of good trunks. Those will develop, and we'll get 4 or 5 trunks. I'm gonna have to clean that up. The Jarumo fell down. And these two, like espaderos, right? Eventually they're just posts. And so they can provide a lot of fruit and habitat for birds and stuff in the meantime. And we just got to be comfortable pruning. And every time we prune, I mean, especially the Nazarenos, this one's not quite straight, but I did leave it. But they get straighter over time, and you correct them and you twist them, like this guy. I'll bring him in here so they kind of hold themselves up straight. And still some of this has got coffee in it. So that's Tangara Cuatro. Now I wanted to keep going downhill here. This is Tangara 5, Tangara 5. Got a nice, started cleaning out some of this grassy biomass, and filling up on contour here. This is the crop I want to get to, and I've pruned several now, a little bit older than this, but 2 trunks. These are fence posts. This guy will sprout again. This is the Kawayacha. And after the post, you can have several kawos, it's roundwood. It's round, however you want to talk about it, handles or posts or table legs. This is roundwood fence posts. And so as these develop, now this guy is out of place. I'm putting now, that's part of the 4th dimensional thing, like he should be 1 meter to the right. But such is life. Like, I'm not gonna kill him, like he's not that much out of place. But I definitely will be taking like his branches if we come back and prune him at some point. Get some handles out of here, probably 3 handles I see. Or half take out 1 or take out 2. I'll definitely be using his branches to put in the cuttings along these contours. This one is new. Yeah, actually I pruned him, and here is his branch right here. So that's a Kawayacha cutting, and I didn't get much lower down here, but this would be Tangara, that's 5, so this would be 6. And you see, like, every time I thought about making a video, I just thought, oh, let me clean up, let me stack some more biomass. Some people might think, like, why does he spend so much time arranging the biomass? Like, is that important? It's really important to me. I mean, I'm still testing, but the reason that the biomass is so important, like in the tropics, like here, I'll leave this and I'll forget about those branches, right? And what they'll do is they'll just kind of disintegrate. The wood will get dry and the leaves will get dry, and it'll just kind of disappear over time. And maybe the woody mass, you'll trip over it sometime, but it'll just break. It'll just be dry as a bone. And most of that carbon here on the surface is going to off-gas, right? So, like, yeah, maybe something's in your soil, but really that's where you need like a rabbit or a cow or something, a sheep, to eat it and poop it, because this is off-gassing. But in these lumps, like I don't know if you could see, I mean, this is deep, 2 feet deep, I don't know, 60 centimeters deep maybe. I got some deeper ones, but what we're doing is we're creating kind of a digester, so it's not on the surface. The surface stuff, kind of the same thing happens, I just layer it in, leaves and grass and whatever you got, cleaning up branches. But and I sprinkle inside of there, some of this leaf litter, half decomposed in there. But where is the microlife living? It's not on the surface where the sun's hitting it. What we're doing is we're creating an ecosystem where fungi and microorganisms can actually digest this without being destroyed by the sun and the temperature and the on and off humidity, right? Because those things stay humid for a while. It's kind of a living hugelkultur, you might call it. And so, and I stomp them down, right? I always talk about stomping them down, because there's probably you know, the things decompose and you mix it up, you squish it up, all those microorganisms. And I got another one down here too. But this is, I managed to do this in about 10 working days. And for me, that's probably a half day. I didn't hire anybody. I organized, let's say the first half, the pretty half, of about 4 or 5 contours. You know, if I had another 2 weeks, I'd probably clean this all up, looking real nice. Although the areas where I started will have sprouting grass, you know, in no time, right? Because I started about 10 days ago, so we're actually going to start seeing some grass sprouting here. Still piles of branches, but I really like that. That looks good. I think the camera shows that because they're a little bit yellow here. It shows pretty good, but even then I got espadero here, a tachuelo. This is still, I'm still kind of a forested lot, but you can see we do prune some of them high, right? There's your fence post. And then chop and drop, you know, some of them we do leave, you know, we're still experimenting with verticality. And so the jarumos really help. I can show you there. The story of verticality, that guamo shot up to be so straight and tall because it was competing. So it's a little bit of vertical competition. And so these fruit trees here help that guamo be taller. That 3D space, we're farming that, right? So in a certain sense, we're farming that with our leaves, our solar panels. We're farming that carbon and that energy from the sun. And the verticality also affects, you know, how much water we're able to process in our living systems, because that is all tied into the roots of the trees and how much they're pumping up for these solar panels, right? So this is kind of my lazy agroforestry system. I don't, other than firewood, like I'm not sure what to tell you I'm growing yet. There's some conga leaf, definitely some plantains and bores. We're getting those installed in every one. But lots of firewood, lots of learning. The species, here's another wood tree. This Tangara 3 and 2, because they're so close to the house, are kind of got themselves filled up with fruit trees. We'll see how that turns out. I'll come back. And so I hope to do kind of a before and after video. We're going to do a little traveling, kind of abandon this now. I cleaned it up. Look at that little guy. All right, we'll visit the pineapple and then we'll go. Then we'll say goodbye. This is actually an endangered species. I forget the name. Where's the pineapple? Look at you, little pineapple. Just abandoned down here in Tangara 4, huh? All right, well, maybe by the time I get back, that'll be a pineapple I want to eat. Could be 2 weeks, let's see. I'm not sure. Still looks small, so it's going to grow. And it's blossoming. It's a bromelia. And this is out of place. We don't have any other pineapple. I think I pulled up all the other pineapples in this sector, because it got too much shade from this. It was too close to the contour, so maybe replace it. But I put some other rows of pineapple. Starting to get a lot more pineapples, and we'll keep you in the loop. Be back soon.